What's up everybody, Mig back here with another video for Fearmig Gaming. Today is a continuation of a previous tutorial I did. I'm going to now show you guys how to decode binary signal. I assume that if you by this point are looking at how to make a decoder, you already know the value of encoding signal, and I don't need to explain that very much. I'm just going to get down to the nitty-gritty here and show you exactly how it works. So a signal gets passed through, that's an encoded signal already, and the value comes out here as what the actual signal is. So right now, as you can see, nothing's being passed through, 0 is presented. Let's just present, let's say 8. We go down here and 8 is now turned on and 0 is off. Alright, so let's get to showing you guys how to do that. I already have a 3-bit encoder already made, and we're just going to carry this off and start making a decoder. Okay. So first things first, give myself a little bit of juice here, and we are going to carry this up and so that we can run lines underneath it and it's easier for you guys to see. If I could actually hit it correctly. Let's make sure that this redstone will stretch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so it should stretch all the way down. You guys didn't know already, redstone only runs 15 blocks, but I assume if you're working with binary code, that's something you already know here. Alright, so we'll go ahead and run our 5 lines that are going to, well, we're going to make it 6 just to account for 0. And that way it's easier to put redstone on those before we actually run the lines over top of them. Alright. Look at that, I can't even hit the blocks here. Too much juice. Okay, so we got our 6 lines ran here. We're going to run the bit lines right over top of them. I find it easier just to build them all out and then we'll customize them as we go. Now there's going to be a lot of different decoders you find out there. This is just one type of decoder. I find that it's really quick. It propagates really fast. It's one of a decoder that my buddy showed me here, and it just works well and is quick. So we run our torches on the end just to be able to show what it's at. Now we're going to go ahead and with these type of items, we're going to put the redstone on top of them. Oops, getting lost here. Okay, so 0 isn't going to have any torches. Now we're going to put a torch in the same place that you put every torch on these, except for the values that we're seeking. So 1 here, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now as you notice, that turns off every line other than our 0 line. Makes sense, right? Now the problem that we face just leaving it this way is if we were to turn 1 and 2 on, it would turn 1, 2, and 3 down here on, which is not what we're looking for. We want to make sure that it doesn't do that at all. So the easiest way to do this is by going ahead and running this line so that when it turns on, it makes sure to keep these lines on. So if we have the first bit line on and the second bit light on, it actually makes sure to keep items like 2 and 3 on this portion so that these torches stay off. So we take a repeater, put it there, and we're going to just knock this redstone off and run it over top. So the redstone carries down into the repeater, which pushes into this block, carries down to this redstone bus line here, but it keeps the continuing signal on. And we go ahead and we do that in this position too. Put your repeater down and run the redstone over top. Alright, so that's your first line done. Really easy, right? Okay, now we move on to the second line. Now these 2 have to be turned on. So an easier way to do that, because you can't really have the same setup as that, is we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a block here on this line. Lift up, put a block there, take this one out, put a block here. So we run our redstone down, just dips down one, and then we put our repeater here, which pushes into this block and spreads the signals into these two sides. Works pretty well there. And then we go down and we just do the same exact thing here. Flip around, put a block here. Pretty simple, right guys? Alright, so that's done now. This line's finished. Now we just got to do this third line. Now the third line can be a little trickier because as you can see here, we can't just run it into that space. We got to do it all the way down. So what we can do is we can combine these two together because there is no dip here. Alright, that's done. So these two are taken care of. Now we just have these two to contend with. Not a big deal. All I do is I come off the back end here. Very simple. Alright, there we go. Now we have our encoder created, or our decoder created. So now when we send the encoded signal into here, it should go ahead and present it. So let's test. Do number 3. Bam. 0, 1, 2, and 3 is on. If we were to turn 3 off and turn 5 on, now 5 is on. So that's it, guys. That's a decoder. As I said, I have a previous video on an encoder, so you can take a look at that if you were confused where I'm at, or if you're confused on binary all around, just let me know in the comments. I may make an actual tutorial on how binary works. But other than that, guys, thanks for stopping by.